Hello, and thank you for stopping by on the Therapist Poetry Podcast, where we meet real people from real life and they share their real experiences with us, their real stories. We're actually about to go and meet a therapist now, so follow me and let's go meet them. Oh, I nearly forgot. If you are moved by their story, then don't forget to let them know and leave them a comment. Don't be stingy and keep all that positivity to yourself. Hello, everybody, and today we're very lucky to have Ander on, who is a sound healer and a spiritual coach. And Ander, today you're here to share your experience, which very much is involved in relationships. Um, Thank you for coming on, and I'd like to hand it over to you to kind of give us a bit of background.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. Yeah, I'm going to present a poem today that speaks to a moment in my life where everything kind of collapsed. It was a pivotal moment, a moment where I could have completely crumbled, and I kind of like really I hit rock bottom, ended up super depressed, like being diagnosed with PTSD, like feeling very shook up. But instead of kind of letting it break me, I used it to find myself and to really understand also where was all of this coming from? Like, how could I end up in an abusive relationship? Like, how is it possible that I stuck around with a very toxic, controlling, demeaning man for 7 years? And why did I feel so? I think there was a readiness to self-abandon in that whole phase, and I think that moment in time really helped me understand like where did this come from in my past. So it's changed everything. But yeah, that moment was probably one of the hardest moments of my life.
I mean, I can really hear the exploration there of the here and now and the
Yeah.
past and kind of the links between those within your relationships as well. And I mean, what is one thing that you wish you knew at the time of that realization?
Um, your patterns that are kind of sabotaging you in the present, they have their root in the past. They don't just come out of nowhere. Having the courage to take your parents, your grandparents, like the people who raised you off the pedestal and not seeing them through the eyes of your inner child, but actually kind of seeing them, at least for a moment, through the lens of your current kind of adult self can really help you make sense of like where is all the stuff that you are playing out in your world coming from, which I think like something that really like kind of kept resonating through me at that time was this young like Carl Gustav Jung quote where he spoke about everything that is not made conscious, you experience as fate. So I think at that time there was a lot of like, my God, am I cursed? Like, what is going on? Like, why does everything just feel so bad? And then when I had the courage to like look at my upbringing, it was like, okay, like here is your answer. So I think that is something I wish I knew back then, that there is a root cause. And when you have the courage to look at that, you can change everything.
I can really hear those unconscious patterns that at that time were kind of playing out in your life. Um, and also hearing you talk about kind of the child you and the relationship with caregivers and the adult you and kind of being able to look back at that in almost a different way, because when we are children, it all feels normal. It all feels as it should do. So I can really hear that looking at that from a different lens almost was really helpful. And how has counselling, sorry, helped for you to understand your experience?
it made the difference. Like it created the space. It helped me kind of not judge myself because I think there was a lot of self-judgment that was kind of keeping me stuck, and counseling really helped me to say, okay, this was your experience. You did the best that you could with the tools that you had. Now let's look at what we can learn. I think this is what like the main thing that counseling did for me. Like it helped me not to judge myself so harshly, and to create the necessary distance between me and the things that actually helped me to grow from the situation.
I can really hear in that the judgment of yourself
Yeah,
was holding you back at the time.
a lot. Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, I think there's still a little of that playing out, but then it's like having compassion for
Mm.
myself for judging myself, it's a process.
Yeah, it's not just the critic talking. The,
Exactly.
the compassion has a voice as well now. And is there any counselling theory in particular that helped you to understand your experience?
Yeah, in terms of theories, I think the notion of the internal family system, where those voices come from that play out inside, and then like inner child work was a huge thing and continues to be a huge thing.
Yeah. So that's the different parts of you. Is that what you're?
Yeah, understanding that like where's that submissive part coming from? Like where's that, you know, because there is like I think there was my kind of like part that was really trying to protect me, that would sometimes go into like a kind of rage and anger, and I had never seen myself as an angry person, so it was just like trying to understand, no, these are parts that are that that are trying to protect you, that are helping you cope with the moment, and if you can see their role and learn to let them speak and give them a voice, then your life can function. And I think that's been really fundamental.
Yeah, I can really resonate with that as well and hear that. That, for example, using angry as an example, it's not there. It's not meant to be this bad thing that society has made
Yes.
it. It's there to do a job, right? It's there to protect you and let you
Yeah.
know that some boundaries maybe aren't there that should be, or whatever role that's playing. Could you name one thing that had a negative impact on your experience?
Yeah, the absence of my mom in the aftermath, like the total lack of um, any emotional support. I'm gonna get emotional. Yeah, it was just like um, feeling zero compassion, zero empathy, zero like, do you need anything? How can I help you? Do you need to just talk? My God, that must be difficult to be a single mom now. Like your dreams collapse. Like there was just nothing. And there never was. It's been 8 years and there just isn't. So learning to uh, come to terms with that, that's been negative. Like it's difficult because it made me realize like wow, I mean, it's the thing that probably caused me to fall into this type of relationship. And then, like, seeing, seeing how, like, it just continues to be a threat, and having to grieve this mom that could have been and never will be. I think it's led to several mini deaths in my life. It's like the death of the relationship, the death of this fantasy mother that will just never be. Yeah, it's that. I think that's been like the hardest thing.
That's a huge loss to
Yeah,
the loss of not having the mum that you
yeah,
wanted. And I can really hearing that again and again and again. That's a loss throughout different periods of your life.
yeah, yeah. It's I feel like that moment was kind of completely, it was the pivotal moment, like the moment when everything changed because I had to embrace either, I mean, I could have either gone down and like just completely given up on myself, or it was a question of, okay, so this is the reality. Like, you don't have a support system, you're on your own. Why are you on your own? Where's this coming from? This isn't your fault. And how can you now, knowing this, like give up this fantasy life and actually deal with your reality, you know?
Yeah. And that leads to the reverse of that question, which is name one thing that had a positive impact in your experience.
I think just reaching out into my community and seeing that there is support,
Mm.
feeling the support from friends and neighbors, and seeing like I have created a life here for myself. I have created a network of real, authentic people that are willing to be there, that are willing to kind of be a part of a life that's more grounded and authentic. Yeah, I think it's that. That's been a really positive experience to see that like I don't need to keep relying on a family system that was totally toxic and narcissistic and is keeping me self-sabotaging. I have it within me to create a system around me that's founded on like vulnerability and empathy and love and respect, you know. Yeah.
The support system is really important for both answers of those questions, and I think that realization really helped you to go and create the support system that you wanted and that you needed. Uh,
Yeah.
that's really great to hear. And the next question is, what other parts of your life did your experience impact?
I think the question is, what did it not impact? It impacted everything, absolutely everything. Yeah. I mean, I became a single mom. I suddenly had to support myself and my children. Uh, I had to move. I had to find ways to be, it's like it pushed me into kind of taking a leadership role in my own life. So that rippled out across everything, like starting my own business, um, like making all the decisions around my children's lives. Yeah, I think it's rippled out into everything, like renegotiating the relationships I have with my family back in Europe. It's just changed everything. Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's a really important message because often a lot of things are impacted by losses, and it's important to kind of really put that into words and just know just how many losses are involved.
Yes.
It's never just about one thing that's happened. It's always so much wider than that. Uh,
Yeah.
it kind of leads me to the last question before we hear your poem, which is, what advice would you give others having the same experience as you?
Hmm. I think if they're still stuck in the relationship, if they're stuck in an abusive situation, to have the courage to ask themselves, what does this remind me of? Where have I seen this before? And if I haven't seen it in that exact way, where where was that kind of feeling present in my childhood? And how can I possibly be reacting to something from the past rather than what I'm really wanting with my mind to create. Because I think like consciously we're like, I want this relationship, I want this life. And then the subconscious is like, wait a minute, like, like just in terms of your self-image, like your self-image was shaped when you were so young. And so you're kind of projecting this into the future and you're wondering, why is my life not working? So I think the thing that I really encourage all my clients always to do, and if anyone is in a situation like this, is just to take a step back, because what you are creating, even if it's really negative, doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from like from the depth of your subconscious. And it's almost like your life is like the mirror to what you're not aware of in yourself. So when it's really not working, it's like, okay, asking yourself what beliefs around myself and what I'm worth could be creating a situation like this. Because I think then being honest around that can start to help you create the change and have the courage to say like, wait a minute, like, okay, this is actually the dynamic I grew up with in my childhood, and I don't want to be recreating this.
Yeah. I mean, what is a really great message to end with, really searching and looking at all of our relationships and how they relate to each other. I thank you so much for answering all the questions today, Anda, and I've already read your poem and I'm really excited to hear you speak it out loud now. Are you ready for that?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
When I was in your belly, you hid the pregnancy. You were only 21, abandoned by my dad, consumed by shame over having me. And that shame, it became me. I was born guilty of being alive. You breastfed me for a whooping 3 weeks, and then you were too busy running away from raising me. Your mom became the surrogate. I had a roof over my head, I had food to eat, aunts and uncles to play with. What I didn't have was a mom to love and witness me, a mom who would love me unconditionally. I spent my life craving your approval, abandoning myself like Dad and you abandoned me. I inherited your freckles and your self-hatred. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate you. Even if you never once told me that you love me. I spent my teenage years screaming for help, to feel something, anything coming from you, something, anything other than indifference. Hypnotized by the TV, you cried for fictional characters and global tragedies, but never once did you cry for your own daughter. Back in 1992, when you were pregnant with my sister, you told me, I'm gonna give her away. I'm never gonna go through the hell of raising another kid again. Your words sliced through my heart, mercilessly like a callous meat packer in one of those horrendous factory farms. What's worse, being raised by a mom who's totally dissociated, or being given away for adoption like you did with my sister? Your siblings tell me to be thankful. They remind me that you gave up so much for me, that you are the one who had it hard, raising someone like me. Nowadays, people ask me, why do you care what your mom thinks? And I honestly wish I could tell them. It's not logical. You were never there emotionally. A victim of the unhealed horrors of a war that would cast its shadow through our family's generations. I know it's not your fault. You move through life like a ghost. your body is present, but your heart, it's fenced off behind a frozen Mount Everest. I see it so clearly now. First, I married the short, belittling man. And when I finally reduced myself to the size of a gray mouse, I had the wits to leave and then had kids with a grandiose, philandering man. I so wanted my kids to have a real family. So I found excuse after excuse for his digressions. It's his unhealed childhood trauma. It's his inability to connect with his emotions. Oh, it's my fault. I should have been a better partner. Until one day, at a beautiful beach, on a vacation that I paid for with my last savings to try to rescue our by then derelict relationship, he looked me deep in the eyes and whispered, "You are just a pathetic, big nothing." Like a bucket of ice-cold water, his insult woke me from a lifelong trance, and I will be forever grateful. Because suddenly, I was somebody.